Hi everybody, Heather Lambert here, Star Director of Team Proud to Party for Cincy. And I've had a lot of questions now that it is tax season and our 1099s are posted on our workstation. What can I claim? What do I need to deduct? What do I need to do? This is my first time. I don't know how to do this. So I'm going to preface this video with I am not an accountant. I'm just going to share with you the things that I do for me and my situation. Your situation may be very different, and only you know your situation, and you really should consult with a professional if you have questions or concerns. Your taxes are ultimately your responsibility. So simply sharing what I do, hoping you can get some ideas and give you some things to think about that maybe you haven't. So you have a home-based business if you are with Cincy, and having a home-based business comes with it. It's a business, and so as much fun as we have in this business, there are some paperwork things that you have to take care of too, and some benefits to that as well if you are really good at taking care of your paperwork. So in having a home-based business, most of us have a home office. I am sitting in mine. It's an area of your home where you reserve strictly for the use of your business or the storage or your materials. You can deduct a portion of your rent or mortgage based on the size of that space. So if you have a spare room in your house and that room is 10 by 10, you have 100 square feet of a 1,000 square foot apartment per se, you're going to be able to deduct 10% of that rent amount off of your taxes. So I use TurboTax to do my taxes. I do them myself, and it is really great at walking you through all of those questions and doing the math for you, so you don't really have to think about it. So I like that. But if you have the dimensions of your room or whatever, your tax professional can help you. So the space in your house. Now, not only can you deduct a portion of your rent or mortgage based on your office space, but all of the utilities that go to running that space. So for example, your electricity, your heat, your water and sewer, all of those utilities are not only keeping your home running, but they also are keeping your office running because your office is a portion of your home. So you need to keep track all year long of what you're spending on electricity and water and sewer and gas and electric and, I said already, heat and whatever else it is for your home, because a portion of that, based on the size of your office, a portion of that is going to be deductible for your business as well. So in addition to that, any repairs you do to the home that contains your office. So if you have an office in your home and you need to replace the roof, guess what? You just replaced the roof on your business as well. So a portion of that is going to be deductible. If you needed to do windows or get a new heater, a water heater, or you had to replace the carpet or the flooring in your office or home, a portion of that is going to be deductible. So it's important to keep any repairs that you do to your home, any expenses that come with running your house, your utilities, that all contains your office. Therefore, it is part of keeping your business going as well, and therefore a portion will be deductible. So you want to look into how that works and make sure you're keeping track of all of those expenses all year long, because it can really add up and help out. Now, the other thing that you use if you're a home-based business is your car. You run errands, you do things, you go to meetings, you go to parties, you perhaps you go to play dates and then talk Cincy business with other moms. Maybe you made a meeting at Panera with a potential recruit and you chit-chatted over a cinnamon roll and coffee about how this business can help her. All of the mileage that you do, if you go somewhere and you do your Cincy business in whatever way, form, or whatever, those mileage are deductible, or your vehicle. So you have two choices. You can either deduct mileage or you can deduct expenses. So if you have an old car with lots of repairs and gasoline and all of that is really expensive and that's going to add up, you can deduct those. Or you can deduct miles. Now, especially with gas being so cheap right now, mileage are probably a better deduction for most people. And I think once you pick, you have to keep doing that. with that vehicle. So I'm not sure about that being covered yet, but I always do miles. So keeping a log is really important. If you ever get audited, you're going to want to prove that those miles were business and where did you go, on what days, and whatnot. That is a really tricky thing to do, and I've not had really good luck at keeping up with my miles over the years. This year, Dave found me the app on my phone. It's called Mile IQ. I paid the $50 for the year, and it automatically tracks everywhere I go in my car. And then all I have to do is swipe personal or business, personal or business. And at the end of the year, I will know exactly how many miles I went in my vehicle and exactly how many were for business. And if anybody ever questions, I have a Google map on there showing the route of where I went exactly at what time on what day. So there's no question, which is really nice. I'm really loving that because I always would forget to write down the miles before I started driving, and then I'd miss it out, and I'm just guessing, and that's not good. You really want detailed miles, and they prefer to have beginning miles in your car and then the ending miles, not just I drove this many miles. They prefer to have a log with the actual mileage in your car, just so you know. And you got to know where you went, where did you go, and why did you go there, why was it business. So that's important to have as well. So sometimes I mentioned going to like Panera. So the mileage to get to Panera, you're meeting with a potential recruit, the meal, anything you purchase, your coffee, all of that is all deductible because you're only going to Panera because of your business. So if you are going to a team meeting and you are bringing something for potluck, that's tax deductible. If you are going to, I don't know, we have a Camp Gladiator, my workout program that I do, we're having a big bonfire. If I paid the ticket to go to Camp Gladiator and sat and talked business with a bunch of people and got some contacts, gave out some samples, I could now write that off, that entertainment, that $30 ticket, as an expense for my business because I did business there. I could go meet some stay-at-home mom group at Monkey Joe's and talk Scentsy with them all. Maybe we do some snipping. I collect their contacts. I get an order or two. Now that fee to get into Monkey Joe's is tax deductible. It was entertainment with the client, with a customer, with a hostess. Meals. If I have a serious conversation with my waitress when my family goes out to dinner and I get her contact information and we talk about the business, I'm going to write that meal off as a business expense. I just did business at that restaurant, and it's a business. So that means you need to keep receipts everywhere you go. If you are driving a really long way to go to a party and you stop and get a snack or a lunch or a dinner or something because you're starving and it's that meal time and you need to eat and you're on your way to a party, that meal on the way to a party is a business expense. So you got to keep receipts, and not only keep the receipts, but especially for meals and things, I like to write at the top what was business at this event. So I may have gone to Panera, I met with so-and-so, we talked potential recruit, or I took an order from this person, or I delivered and met this person here for a delivery, we sat and chit-chatted, whatever. So make sure you're noting what business you did on those receipts. Just if you were ever audited, you want to be able to explain why it was business. Okay, traveling. So traveling expenses that are related to your business are all deductible. If you go to Scentsy Family Reunion, if you're going to World Tour on, a lot of you are going Saturday to Nashua, if you're staying in a hotel and you're or if you're flying, or if you're, whatever expenses it's going to take for you to travel to get there. If you need a shuttle from the airport to the hotel, if you need a taxi to get here, there, or everywhere while you're there, those are all travel expenses deductible in your business. So if you are, for example, going on a so I had a friend, she's a director on the east coast of Florida, and she recently took a trip, her and her kids took a road trip to Texas to visit her family. Now she really just wanted to go visit her family, but she said, okay, I'm going to Texas. How many parties can I do between here and there? How many parties can I do while I'm there? it's all new people that I can meet and chat with and hand out samples to and get new contacts, and you just never know who you might meet. So she booked parties along the way, and then once she got to Texas. Well, now that trip with her and her kids to go visit her family is a business trip, and the entire trip is now tax deductible. So you got to be smart about where you're going. What are you doing? Okay, I'm going to Jersey to finish my visit family. Great, let's have a party while I'm there. Let's talk Scentsy while I'm there. Let's do a little sniff and collect some orders, throw a basket around while I'm there. And now it's a business trip. So be smart about where you're going and where you want to go, or if you're going somewhere, what business can you do while you're there? It's an opportunity to grow your business that you wouldn't have had otherwise. So take advantage. If you're in the hotel, say you go to Nashville and you don't want to be without internet, and maybe the hotel charges for internet access in your room, and you pay for that, don't forget to deduct for that. That's a business expense to get internet in your hotel room. Shuttles, some people miss shuttles to and from, taxis, things like that. Keep receipts. Ask people for receipts all the time. Okay, so now the nitty-gritty with your business. You've moved around, you've got your office set up, but there's a lot of things that you do within your business that you need to keep track of. And if you wait till the end of the year, it can be very tricky and hard, and you're going to miss stuff. And you don't want to miss anything. Every dollar counts. So advertising. If you get the Warmer Scent of the Month subscription every month, I write that off as advertising. I'm going to make samples out of those bars, those flyers, those testers. They're to advertise my business. So those are advertising expense. Any catalogs or brochures or flyers or things that you buy from the Scentsy Family store that are branding, I write those off as advertising. That is me. That I am a walking billboard, and those are advertising expenses for my business. Anything you do on Vistaprint. So if you're making, I see a lot of people with cool brochures, flyers, postcards. I like to make magnets. They're super cheap and fun to give out and flat to mail. So all of those are advertising expenses. You are advertising your business. You're getting your name out there. Fundraiser, donation. So anytime I do a fundraiser and I donate my commission to an organization, I write that off as advertising. It is a much higher donation than like charity. And really what I'm doing is I am paying them for handing out my brochures and passing around my name. It's an advertising in that you are handing maybe 200 kids your information and brochures and having them go share that with the people that they know. They are advertising for me, and I am going to write the donation that I give them from my commission off as an advertising expense. I paid money for that to happen. Communication is another category. If you have a cell phone that you use almost exclusively for business, because everything you do is Scentsy. If you pay for any of those video conferencing programs or whatnot, those are all tax deductible. Contract labor. You hire an assistant. If you pay someone to help you, if you, I don't know, get your husband to help you do something and create an invoice and pay him something, and you can write it off as deduction. I know a lot of Scentsy directors have gotten to the point in their business where they have hired an assistant, and it may be a friend, it may be whoever, come over, address all my postcards or label all my catalogs for me, and I'll pay you a little bit of money. Jen Idette, I think her mother or mother-in-law is her assistant, and so anything that you pay them is contract labor, it's a deduction in your business. Interest payment. So I forgot about this for a long time, but this is why it's so important to separate your family money from your business money. I have one American Express credit card with airline miles. So I rack up some airline miles so that I can afford to go to Nashville and fly to all these trips at a discounted rate, if not free. So the interest on those cards every month, if you pay any at all, is deductible. So make sure you're checking how much interest you're getting charged, if any, on those cards. So your other office is another category that I have on my TurboTax. The color went here now. So if you, for example, hire a cleaning lady to come clean your office, and she does your vacuuming and your dusting and all of that, you can deduct that from your time. The other cool thing that I found is those of you that are near a Sam's Club, they have a business membership to Sam's. Sam's Club memberships are a little pricey. They're like $100, but you can get a business membership for $35 a year. Did you know that? $35 a year. You can go to Sam's Club, and I love to get like print your own postcards and a lot of office supply kind of things at Sam's. It's a lot cheaper. You can buy in bulk and get a bunch of them. But that membership then is deductible. But it's super cheap. Check that out. Supplies. So pens, paper, ink for your printer, labels that I purchased to print on, all sorts of things like that that you would need. Paper clips, staples, you know, all that kind of stuff. If I buy those, they are an business expense every time. And then the last category that is in my TurboTax program that I keep on my spreadsheet is miscellaneous expenses. And miscellaneous expenses includes your PWS fees, so the $10 or $5 that you pay to Sensi to keep your PWS up. Postage, anytime you mail anything related to Sensi, you're going to write that off. I use a Square, so some of you have that for events and things. It's really handy, especially for events or people that you don't know that are taking cash to carry or just giving you money off the spot. You want to make sure their cards go through and not worry about it later. Sometimes there's some fees involved with that. It's minimal and I think worth it, but those fees are deductible, so make sure you keep track. Event fees, so if you are purchasing a table at an event, those fees, make sure you keep track and get receipts. If you do printing, so a lot of times, especially if you're doing a big fundraiser, to go to a printer and have things copied and printed is a lot cheaper than trying to print them off yourself. So those fees are deductible. What else am I forgetting? So there's a lot of different things. It's important to keep every receipt and decide, did I do business at this location while I was doing this thing? Is this a business expense? Write what it is on the top and stick it in an envelope for the month. And if you're good, every month you can add up and kind of categorize each of your expenses so that at the end of the year it's a little bit easier when you get to taxes. But even the little ones, guys, if you're not keeping track all year long, you're going to miss stuff. And I promise it adds up fast. And you will be shocked at how many deductions. I don't think I showed a profit in my business until last year. Was the first year really that I really started showing a profit, and my income was almost that what I was making teaching, so I was deducting a lot of stuff. So it's okay to deduct more than you make. You probably will, because you're deducting a portion of your mortgage, a portion of your utilities. Those are expenses that you would have paid out anyway. You don't normally get to deduct, but as a business owner you do. So so lots of things, easier to keep track all year long. Try to remember as much as you can. The car log, that's the hardest one, trying to keep track of mileage, and it can add, it's a big one, so you want to make sure you're accurate as possible. You don't want to get caught in an audit. If you do get audited, you want to have receipts and a reason, and if you have a system and an organization to keep track of everything, and they come and say, okay, show me what you got, and you have everything there, it's not going to be so big a deal. So if you have questions, message me, contact me, we'll talk about it, we'll see what we can find out. But again, I'm not a tax professional. You want to go to your tax person and your situation and make sure you're doing what's going to be best for you and your family. Hope this helps, gives you guys some ideas and things to think about, maybe some deductions you weren't thinking about before. It's always hard. I always miss something, and I go through my TurboTax and ask me questions, and I'm like, darn, I can't track that very well. So there's always something, and every year I try to do a little better than the year before. So it's a work in progress. Just do your best, and I hope it helps you guys out having a home-based business. It's great.